Hi guys, I'm Ravdak and today we'll talk about Lemmings. Game from 1991. It was first of all released on Amiga by Psy- Psygnosis and Sun Software on SNES, Gen and NES. Sega also had something to do with that, obviously. Atari Corporate, Ocean Software, and Philips Media back in the day used to get involved in computer games. Then that's fun fact of the day. Game was released on Amiga in February 91, where in States it was released in 92, which is quite unusual to be honest, that States actually had the game released as second. Also release was done on various other platforms like I mentioned, SNES, Sega, Game Gear, Atari ST and ZX Spectrum, and obviously it was available on personal PCs under MS-DOS back in the day. And funny enough, it was actually also available on classic Mac OS. But to be honest, I will tell you a story about this game from my childhood in a moment. But as you can see, we have those lovely lemmings which have a job to do, and we need to ensure that they can safely pass from entrance point to these doors. Obviously they can die in process, therefore we need to be extra careful of what we're doing. And basically it looks like very simple game, isn't it? But if you think about it, level like that is not difficult at all. But if we look at complexity of different missions where they can fall into the trap, or they can actually fall from the cliff, it starts to be a bit more tricky at that stage. Therefore, games start to be more interesting with time. We'll cover a few episodes, but through pure levels, apologies. But why I brought this game? I brought this game only because it was one of those games where I spent stupid amount of time as a child. I started to play this game when I've been like 5-6 years old. Therefore, my age was saying that the games with this kind of complexity have been difficult, because technically they are very logical, because although those missions are very simple, because you just need to ensure that they do one action at a time. But obviously when you cover more levels, you are in higher levels, the complexity and the task what you need to do is much higher, and things what you need to cover is greater, and you have less time to prevent it. And basically, for example, this guy, we need to stop here, and obviously if they will fall from too high ground, then you will lose as well. Then this mission is very simple. We just need to remember to block them like so, and this way we will get them to their destination. But it's not that simple in longer run. But why I brought this game? It's one of those logical games where the rules of the game are very simple, but to master this game and to make sure that you lose least of those lemmings, it starts to be a bit more complex. And on top of that, when you start to get involved in this game and you start to play harder and try to beat your times and everything else, then it starts to be more and more tricky, and you try to make sure that those lemmings don't die within the process. But this game took a big chunk of my childhood, and to ensure that I can get as far as possible in it. And it was so cheerful. I remember graphics in this game, it was stunning. Obviously when you look at this game those days, it's nowhere near how it used to be. I'm not sure why we didn't actually completed this mission yet. I really don't know why we didn't actually completed this mission yet. We exploded them just to not waste our time. This way we actually completed the mission, although back in the day you didn't need to destroy them. Okay, then in here we have another character. I'm not sure what this does, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, it's the climbing one, okay. I remember now. This is the version which is available on the Microsoft Store. And it's not, unfortunately, the original one. To get the original one, I didn't have access to it, and this is the closest what I found to the original Lemmings. Then I thought I will share this with you because it's definitely, if you never had a chance to play this game, I will highly recommend minimum watching this video. I would not say that it's must seen in your life. Without this, your life will be not complete or something on those lines, but I would definitely recommend minimum having a look at the game, because you don't have games like this any longer. They don't produce those type of games, unfortunately, and they are one of the kind, logical games where you can concentrate on the task and try to solve logical inquiries. It's one of the things what I personally adore in those games. And I'm not sure what else I can say about Lemmings. The mechanics is stupidly simple. Complexity starts with the different level and the design and what you need to do and how you need to pre-plan this. Obviously, you're working against the clock. You have limited resource. What your Lemmings can do. Obviously, we have blockers and explosive ones. Then we need to explode this guy, which is very bad because we don't want him to kill too many of his own. But this way those ones can actually fall down, which give us option to go further, and we need to pre-aim that he will explode in the right place. He might not explode close enough, to be honest. Oh, he didn't explode close enough. Okay, this one. And this is where I made mistake, obviously. We could finish this much better by using blocker, but I decided not to do that for some unknown reason, and this way we lost additional lemming in the process of this, which is not big thing, but at the same time I lost an additional lemming, which could mean that we could have higher score, because requirement is only 20%. We'll have 90 something, but we could have 96 because we only were needed to sacrifice 2 lemmings on this mission, not 3. Little things, guys, stuff like that. That I don't bore you any longer, because what I would recommend is you having a go at this game, regardless of your age. I know graphics are not amazing, but it's a free game. Just give it a shot and let me know in comment section. Do you remember this game? And if you don't, try it and let me know your feeling about this game after playing it. I'm hoping you'll enjoy it, and thank you very much for watching again, and take care.